Hello and welcome to Flix and Chill with me, Luke, and
Shane,
yes, and this is our show where we talk about pop culture, where we could talk about movies and anything in between. So Shane, how are you doing today?
it sound like I'd smoked a lot of cigarettes.
You sure do. But like,
I am
I think
getting over laryngitis, so we're
yes.
getting there. I kind of just sound like I'm congested a little
Mm-hmm.
bit,
Mm-hmm.
but we're getting there. It's been rough. The past 2 weeks have been real rough because I'm like I use my voice way too much in both my real job and then this too, and I'm like
Yep.
you don't realize how much you talk until you're straining to, and you're just like, well, this is fun.
It's always the same like with any disease, like like when you have a stuffed nose, you you appreciate it when you don't have a stuffed nose after you've got it. It's like, oh, remember the time when I didn't have to deal with this? Those were great times. And then get cured and get better. And it's like, oh, this is my normal. I don't have to appreciate this because like this is how I exist. So,
So sometimes I'm like, does my Flonase really help that much?
mhm.
And then there's 2 days I didn't have it. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, I didn't realize how hard it would be to breathe without my Flonase.
Yep.
So if Flonase and the company that makes it, if you want to sponsor this show, we would gladly take your money.
We'll take any money if it comes from the proper sources. Not okay.
We, we will take money from big pharma like all the politicians do.
I would like to believe I have some sort of spine, but if there's money on the table, many people find themselves spineless. So like it's like the situation, you would like to believe you'll do the correct decision, you will make the correct decision, you will do the correct, do the right thing, as Spike Lee would have us believe, but in the reality is often different.
Well, this will be the last comment I make on this to wrap up our
Mhm.
intro because obviously this has already gone off a bit off the
Yeah.
rails already. But I would like to think that I have a lot of values and like a code I live by.
Hmm. Hmm.
But living in the United States in 2016 with a 14% pay cut and credit cards and stuff like that might not be as concerned with who is giving me ad money at this point. And this is how that's perpetuated in the United States. So
Yes.
look at that
The vicious cycle of
vicious,
capitalism.
vicious cycle.
Hmm. But so is there anything you would like to rant or rave about, Shane?
See, now I could rave about that because now I'm thinking about that. But my rave that I was going to choose is against laryngitis.
Mm-hmm.
Very personal thing
Hmm.
I'm dealing with right now. It's so funny because we're 2 months into 2026, and all I feel like I'm mad about is why is the weather getting in my plans? Why is illness getting in the way of my plans? And
Hmm.
that's the headspace I'm in right now.
Hmm.
Not having your voice is very frustrating. And obviously, there are people that are mute and don't have a voice and can't speak. And I'm just imagining like just how disruptive
Hmm.
that possibly could be in society. And also realizing that I talk way too much for my job. And I also talk way too much with all my side gig stuff. So I just don't like being sick. And I don't think that's a controversial opinion, but like I don't get sick very
Hmm.
often. So when I do, it's very frustrating for me. So yes, I hate you, laryngitis.
It's like it's like that Eric Andre show meme. Why would you say something so controversial yet so brave?
I don't know, Luke, because I'm a trooper.
Yes, you are. No, but like we touched on it in our intro. Like you never appreciate when you're feeling just okay until something is not just okay, and then like
Yeah.
you have a cut on your finger, and it's like, oh, I would like to go back to yesterday when I didn't have this annoying cut, or when you have like sore throat, oh, or a blocked nose, or these tiny things where it's just like. I would like to go back to last week when I was just okay and appreciate how just okay I was feeling. Yeah, I totally get you.
And there we go.
Yeah,
Rant ended.
yes. So my rant. will bleed into pop culture because I would like to talk about something that apparently is quite controversial, especially in America. So we'll see how this goes. So my rant is people need to stop projecting many different things and ideas about somebody who does one or two questionable things and then try to portray that as like, oh yeah, he is the worst person ever. And like we need to keep out some distance. We need to keep up some distance just because somebody does something not exactly great doesn't make them the worst person you've ever met or never met actually. And this like parasocial relationship we craft with celebrities of every kind, like whether it's movies, sports, personal like Instagram personalities, YouTubers, whatever. It's not great because like if you like, did they do a bad thing? Sure. Do you know them for sure that they are the next incarnation of Hitler because of that bad thing? No, you don't. Like if somebody does bad things all the time, fair maybe, but you still don't know them. So chill the fuck out, people. And the reason I bring it up is I would like to my pop culture news will be because this bleeds into this the BAFTA incident. So for those of you who are not familiar, which Shane, you are familiar because obviously we
Yes.
both like, movies and all the ceremonies and all that. So last week, because we're recording this Saturday, so last weekend, BAFTAs happened. And unfortunately, this happened. John Davidson, a man who had a few documentaries made about his Tourette's, and now a movie called I Swear,
Yep.
was in attendance. And unfortunately, the clip that went viral was him shouting the N word at the Delroy Lindo and Michael B. Jordan. So many people quickly said he. I've seen many takes. I'm not gonna name any names, but I've seen many takes like, "Oh, it's weird that only this word happened and nothing else." Or that's why he meant it, and that's why he is racist, and that's why, oh, and I'm like, really? Jesus Christ, people, because like here, so, and like not to offend my American co-host or but it seems to be split between genuine. It seems to be between rest of the world and Americans because like America is usually the reactions I see from most Americans is like, oh, he's a yes, he's got Tourette's. We understand, but also that's a bad word and that means he's a racist. End of discussion. And I'm like, no, literally the movie. I haven't seen it by the way, but literally the movie shows you how not controllable those sticks are and, should he have said it? Of course not. But again, he's got a condition that the worst thing that pops in his mind, he will say. For example, I didn't know, but in one of the documentaries, when he's getting an OBE, I believe, from the Queen before, when she was still alive, he shouted apparently in her face, "Fuck the Queen." Do you actually think he hates the Queen? No, he was nervous he's gonna do something like that. And he did. But even the Queen kind of understood. Or even the royalty, like, royalty didn't label him like, unwanted and then had him decapitated. They understood he cannot control it. And so my point about this, well, if you want to blame anybody, because of course we live in a society where, it must be somebody else's fault, right? Somebody's fault we need to be angry at. BAFTA, BBC. Let's start with BBC. So this isn't the only thing he said, but apparently BBC decided, or it slipped through the cracks, only this incident because host Alan Cummings,
I
I don't
mean,
remember. Yeah, Cumming. Yeah, he is a gay man. So there was two instances of him shouting a gay slur at him. You can imagine which one. When Paddington was on the stage, he shouted "fuck marmalade" apparently. And when there was a category about like children or family movies, he shouted like "fuck
it's them
kids" or
kids.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, and this is my point. This was 2 hour delay. Literally, the ceremony happened not live. So BBC had 2 hours to edit everything. They did, but apparently this one slipped through the crack. And also, what they happened to edit, three different people said "Free Palestine," and
Yeah,
they
they
just
ended that
happened
out.
to exactly. And they just happened to edit all of those three.
I mean, the
Interesting.
BBC is racist.
The more look, ever since that Sunday, ever since that incident, many new information has come out, and the more I read about the situation, the more I'm convinced that A, stop hating on a guy with Tourette's who cannot control what the fuck he's saying, even when he says a bad word, which is again, nobody's saying this is not me making an apology for him. This is not me saying he's got the pass. He's not Quentin Tarantino. No. Unlike Quentin Tarantino, Quentin Tarantino can help himself. All I'm gonna say.
He just chooses not to.
Correct. But he literally cannot control himself. It is like a literally medical condition. So just to try to label him as, well, it must have been on his mind. He must be racist despite his, disease. No, watch the movie, watch documentaries about this man. Like he did, and like he escorted himself out of the room after this incident. He wasn't escorted by BBC or BAFTAs. He chose to finish that ceremony with a TV screen in one of the dressing rooms because he understood that he caused discomfort to Del Orlando, Michael B. Jordan, everybody around him. And he was afraid he would do something like that. So that's just, if there was only a movie or documentaries you can watch to understand the condition. I know, right? So if you want to be mad at somebody, be mad at BBC and then be mad at BAFTAs. Because Del Orlando himself said, like, I understand that he's got a condition. I'm not even, like, I'm paraphrasing. He basically suggested he's not mad at John Davidson. He was kind of mad at BAFTAs that nobody after the ceremony have reached out to either him or Michael B. Jordan and say, hey, it was a very shitty thing that happened to you. You guys fine? Like, nobody, like, they obviously issued like a proper apology like a day later, right? But in a room, after the ceremony was over, Delroy said nobody from BAFTAs, nobody from BBC reached out, or no person official person came and like basically offer like not even apologies, but like, hey, you good? Like, this was a shitty situation that happened. You good?
Seriously?
Apparently,
That
so
is
that's that's what I'm saying. Instead of being mad at this on John Davidson with a man with Tourette syndrome that cannot help him, literally cannot help himself. Instead of being mad at this one guy with a condition that makes you scream the most awful shit that comes to your mind, and because of that he's got literally no filter. Instead of being mad at him, if you really need to be mad at somebody, BBC, BAFTAs, write them an email or two, very strongly, worded, please. Because the more you learn about the situation, this is where the anger should be. Like now they trying to say like it slipped through the cracks, which is kind of weird.
okay.
I know, right? I'm not a conspiracy theorist. My conspiracy theory is they wanted a viral moment. I genuinely cannot explain it any other
You
way,
should have left the F
especially
them kids moment in.
yeah, I was gonna say, especially when they happen to catch all the other ones, and especially when they edited out Free Palestine three different occasions. Which is weird because UK, by the way, is one of the few states that actually just recognized State of Palestine as an actual state. That was in the news about 2 months ago. So bizarre. Like so yeah, that's my rant and pop culture kind of over. What about your because you're American and many Americans like basically, oh yeah, I understand his condition, but he's kind of racist. What is your take about this, Shane?
My first reaction was I had questions because I don't thoroughly understand Tourette's. So I needed to understand that this
Hmm.
is something they literally cannot control. There's not much you can do about it except removing yourself from a situation, which he did afterwards.
Yes.
So, my contribution to this is I'm not a doctor.
Hmm.
I don't know enough about Tourette's to make an educated comment about the situation. So, I shut my mouth.
I also have
Which
not.
the moral of the story is
Yes.
if you're not informed about a situation, shut your mouth.
Okay, I'm not gonna talk about it anymore. I'm sorry.
Just I'm particularly mad even more now at the BAFTAs for
Yes.
not showing. basic courtesy to actors that were put in a really uncomfortable situation.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I think the funny thing is, probably most of the people they're getting all riled up and saying a whole bunch of shit about this are white people,
Hmm.
which is like,
To my point, I have seen some this 3 minute video of I believe she was an American black girl with Tourette's. So by the way, also I'm not a doctor, but because of this incident, I've learned so not every person who's got Tourette's has these tics. So
correct.
this is a special
So
condition that's called, there's a specific word for it. So not everybody with Tourette's suffers with these tics.
my roommate in
Hmm.
freshman year and sophomore year of college had Tourette's.
Hmm. Hmm.
He made grunts
Yes.
and stuff like that. So
Yes.
like he didn't blurt out words, he just made
Hmm.
noises. And I unfortunately was in situations where some of our faculty made very ignorant and dumb comments and
Hmm.
made my roommate feel really uncomfortable. So
Yes.
like it manifests in different ways. I know that at least because of actual experience
Hmm.
living with somebody for 2 years. And here's the thing, he never talked about it.
Hmm. Hmm.
So like I didn't learn more than that because like he didn't really want to acknowledge it or put something on it. And
Hmm.
some people with conditions feel much more open about talking about it and want to be advocates for it. And some people don't want to talk about it. And
Hmm.
I wasn't going to pry. So yes. So I understand this is a very specific version of Tourette's
Yes.
and that I still don't know that much about. So I'm not going to get all upset about it. But what were
So
you going to say about that video?
I was gonna say, like, so I did a bit of research because of this, because again, it is a fascinating debate. It was a fascinating thing that unfortunately happened. Because like nobody's happy. I don't think anybody's happy that it happened, right? But because of that, I know now much more about Tourette's than I've ever known, than a week ago. And there was that thing where even this black American girl was basically even on that video you can see her like swearing, like flipping the bird to the camera and explaining how same thing what I'm saying. Just because he said the N-word, which is again unfortunate, he shouldn't have said it, but he doesn't have any control over it because basically from everything I've read about this condition, everything I've heard about this condition from these people who actually have the same condition as John Davidson, no, this doesn't reflect your character. This doesn't reflect your beliefs. You will literally see a person. So if he sees a fat person on a street, he'll say, "Hey, you fat fuck," or something like that. He will say the first thing, the first mean, like the worst thing about any person. So, if there was an Asian person, there would probably be some, Asians were, again, like he picks on apparently the way it works, your brain hyper focuses on anything that could make you hurt the person you're seeing, and you have no way to stop it to basically from coming out. That's why, like, even in that documentary, like, fuck the queen, literally in front of the queen when she was still alive. But he did become, she did give him the OBE because this guy, John Davidson, he's dedicated his entire life, and he's like 50 something now, I think. He's dedicated his entire life to actually shine a light on this and how involuntary it actually is and how it doesn't reflect your character. If he calls you a fat fuck, you know, that doesn't mean he actually hates you. Or if he calls you something else, that doesn't mean he hates you. It's just something he cannot help with, help himself with. Like, I think, and also the fact that he has not been escorted, he escorted himself because he recognized, like, that's the thing.
Self-regulated.
Yes, just because you cannot control it, and I think that's also an important distinction. Just because you cannot control it doesn't mean you cannot comprehend what you've done, what you've said. Because those people, they have their Tourette's, they are not idiots. So they understand they hurt people. So that's why he removed himself from that situation because he understood, oh, yeah, like this is not gonna go well. I need to go. I need to go.
So my one last contribution to this
Mhm.
conversation is how close to the stage was he?
That was the other thing about the BBC,
Because
blame
like
BBC. So apparently there was a mic quite close from him. No, so like genuinely this is why I'm saying I'm not a conspiracy guy. Trust me, I'm not. But like in everything that has come out since about this incident, BBC wanted something like this to get the views, to get the clicks. Maybe they thought, oh, this will be great to shine a light on this and have a debate, public debate. I don't know what their intention was, but this was fucked on so many levels, but not from John Davidson. It was fucked all on so many levels from BBC, from BAFTAs for not reaching out to Delroy Lindo and Michael B. Jordan. It was a shit show. He might have started, but everybody else that actually can control their language, can control what they're saying, what they're doing, didn't do anything but public Facebook apology a day later. So mismanaged shit show. It was something that was supposed to be Winnie Musaku won for Sinners. Ryan Coogler became the first black man to win a BAFTA for best screenplay.
Yeah.
So like instead of focusing now on those fucking great things, we are focusing on this one, and then many people calling this poor man with Tourette's racist, that he must have an awful heart. And I'm like, Jesus Christ,
It's
people,
an
like
awful condition that
exactly,
he
it's an
has to
awful
deal with.
condition. Yes. And so to wrap it up, oh by the way, when I went to Letterboxd to check out the I Swear movie made about him, I was so shocked that you haven't rated it. You haven't logged it because I'm like, I am so sure Shane would have seen this.
This doesn't come out in the US until April,
Yeah,
May.
okay. Okay.
So I'm waiting on my screening link.
hmm Like
So
now, yeah.
it it hasn't released here yet. That's why.
Yes. Yes. So Shane is saying, I'm not slacking. I'm just, I haven't had a chance yet. Yes. Fair.
It's unavailable for me yet.
Yes.
So
No, but that movie, not only because of the lead guy, quote unquote, stole the BAFTA from Leo and Timothée Chalamet, kind of mixing up the Oscar race a bit, but
yeah.
also because of him winning for that, he totally wasn't expecting it. I'm like, okay, I need to watch the movie now and to even further understand the condition. And that's what I would like to end on. If we were to actually now watch the movie, maybe even the most hardcore people that somehow manage to believe, make themselves believe he is racist, maybe they'll actually back down and say, I was wrong. But yeah, anyway.
Well, hey, and like I was already excited for the movie when
hmm
I got they started promoting in-person New York press screenings in January.
mm
And I got an email about him like, oh, I'm excited to check this out.
hmm
And obviously I haven't got a chance. It 2 days ago was the first in-person press screening in New York City for it. So
hmm
I'm waiting for them to pass along the press link for me. But I was already excited about it. Then he won Best Actor at the BAFTAs. Then I'm like super excited about it. And now
Yeah.
it's just like, holy crap, just so much attention on this movie now.
hmm
And wild.
It is
Um,
wild.
Either they're idiots or there was some malicious string pulling here. Because, like, yeah. So that topic. So
Yeah,
is that
I
your actual pop culture one too? You just kind of combine them?
Yes, pretty much, because I knew like it's gonna be a little longer, and I thought I think it's a worthwhile discussion. And again, just to start when I started my rant, so when something like this happens, or when your favorite celebrity says something you don't exactly agree with, it doesn't make it, you don't have to go polar opposite and say, "Oh, I hate you now. I wish you were dead. You're next Hitler." Maybe just like accept that you're not gonna agree with everybody 100% of the time, and it's kind of like, okay, I wish you didn't do that, but okay.
Can we save the "you're the next Hitler" for actual fascists?
I mean, I don't want to touch on that subject, but in America, you have quite a few now. Well, quite a few that do, sorry, let me rephrase. Quite a few people who don't like to be called fascists, but they do everything in a fascist playbook that has happened in Nazi Germany in 1930s. Yes.
So, kind of segue into my
Okay.
pop culture thing. So, all this discourse about the sale of Warner Brothers.
Ah.
One, I wish they weren't selling Warner Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
First off.
Hmm.
Second off, Netflix would have been a bad choice. Paramount's a bad choice. Any big media company buying Warner Brothers is a bad choice because there's already only a select few massive media companies at this point, and this is hitting full blown oligopoly up in here. And this is why you shouldn't be allowed to own so much media like this. There's antitrust laws that are 110, 15 some odd years old in the United States for this very reason. And what's most frustrating is if this Paramount deal goes through, you know who's not going to block it because the president of the United States is best buds with the family that owns Paramount. And politically, the president would want them to own CNN and all the media aspects of Warner Brothers because, so they have control of that. This makes me so mad when political BS is getting in the way of art and movies. We can't have nice things. Warner Brothers has made so many really dumb financial decisions
Hmm.
in the past 25 years. Some of those really dumb financial decisions are my favorite movies. Mad Max Fury Road, who in their right mind would give 70-year-old director $150 million to go off into the desert for 8 months?
Hmm.
Fury Road was not a giant box office success.
Nope.
An even dumber decision was giving a relatively unproven, very talented French Canadian director, Denis Villeneuve, $175 million to make a sequel to a movie that bombed in the first place, Blade Runner 2049.
Hmm.
It's an amazing film,
Yes.
but that was a dumb decision to give him $175 million to make that movie, which
Hmm.
indeed did bomb. So I don't agree with all Warner Brothers business decisions, but they're one of the bastions of actually letting, like a big studio letting filmmakers do their thing.
Hmm.
And unfortunately, that's changed a lot in the past couple of years because they screwed over Christopher Nolan. They're screwed over Clint Eastwood, who has been who has made them so much money for the past like 50 years. This whole discourse right now is just really frustrating, and I am going to be very upset if Paramount winds up buying Warner Brothers. And at this point, it's not, no matter if it was Netflix or Paramount, it's not good for movies.
I don't think it's a question of if, but when.
There's some things popping up now that this may or may not go through
Hmm.
because of some people in the government who actually want to do their jobs might try to block it. So
You mean to tell me
it,
President of the United States would do something to enrich himself? Really?
this president, yes, 100%. Um, because the thing is, our midterm elections could make a big difference in this situation because Congress can block this.
What do you mean midterms elections? Those things will not happen.
That's a whole other thing.
Can of worms you'll have to deal with in a few months when he actually fucking cancels them.
So at this point, this is just, I also want to point out the hypocrisy
Hmm.
of a lot of people because when they first announced Netflix was trying to buy Warner Brothers, everybody's like, this is the worst. Netflix is horrible. They're going to ruin Warner Brothers. And then the second Paramount entered the chat and then started getting the leverage here, they're like, this should be Netflix buying them. I'm like, okay.
Hmm.
So at the end of the day, whatever happens with Warner Brothers being sold, it's not going to be good for movies.
No.
And I don't like whichever slippery slope either of those options would have turned out to be. Obviously, the Paramount one's much more problematic from a macro level of society. So
And we
it's a
do live
sad
in a
day for
society.
movies. We
Yes.
do
And
indeed.
like I was gonna say, like, look, if we get Melania 2, the electric boogaloo out of this, I feel
Electric
like it would be
Boogaloo.
so I feel like it would be so worth it. No, on a more serious note, like we are going coming, slow, not even slowly now. It seemed to be kind of sprinting. like a light joke to the future where many have warned us against, like, one or two big corporations ruling everything, all aspects of your life.
Yep.
And many movies, novels have been written against this very thing that's happening right now. And about President being cozy with one of the, yeah, as you said, with the CEO of Paramount being best buds and all that. But many people now choose to just ignore it. It's like America now is running on that. Oh, you cannot do that. Well, is it written someplace? Yes, it's written right here. Oh, sorry, I'm cannot read for this very specific minute. I will do it anyway. Who's gonna stop me? Make me stop. Somebody stop me. And then nobody stops him, and people are like, well, who's gonna stop him? And this has been a cycle for pretty much most of his first term and all the second term. Like every time Mr. Trump, best president ever, as he would tell you, every time he does something, he's like, no, 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 he cannot do this. He would cross this line in the sand we've had for centuries. He crosses the line. Oh, we didn't think he would actually do that. Well, fuck. What are we gonna do now?
Nothing, apparently. So, at the end of the day, this is just bad.
It is.
And specifically talking about from a pop culture standpoint, whatever happens with Warner Brothers is just not going to be good. This slippery slope started when they allowed Disney to buy Fox.
Mm.
Honestly, in hindsight, they probably should not have let them do that.
Or Amazon MGM. Like,
That too. And like that still makes me gross every time I see the MGM line pop up and then it's like an Amazon company. I'm like,
yeah, that's so insane.
the
And
only
I'm
thing
like,
is at least they
mhm,
put most of their movies in theaters and
I
actually
guess,
give them it's just the visual of that
yeah.
is gross. And I'm really like now I'm seriously worried about James Bond as a franchise.
Only
Um,
now? Only
well,
now?
well, yeah, now that Amazon owns all the rights to it and the
Hmm.
Broccoli family are no longer
Yep.
involved.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I meant. Like, I've been worried ever since, like, that got sold to Amazon, and I'm like, oh, because it happened a couple of months ago. I'm
Well,
like,
well, yeah, like
yeah,
in the context of my
yeah, yeah,
life, I've been watching James Bond since I was 8 years old. So, like
fair.
now, right
Hmm.
now, the past 6 months since this has happened, now I am worried about this franchise. So, but yeah,
The only thing that gives me a slight comfort, it seems like Amazon actually wants to rectify a mistake they've done in the past, or a Bond franchise has done in the past, and didn't let the big directors that wanted to direct the James Bond movie actually letting them direct, like Denis Villeneuve.
yeah, but he
So
doesn't have final
it's
cut.
that's the thing. So like, will he? Well, to be fair, look, just because it's still like I don't think it has been officially announced, but it's been strongly hinted at by many people. But you know how these deals are? Many things are strongly hinted at and seems like a done deal, and then something falls through, and it will not happen. But hey, I hear Ratner is available, and
He's
he's
he's too
he's
busy being Paramount's second biggest creator behind Taylor Sheridan.
Mhm. Good guy. Oh, like I hear only great things about him. Like
Rush
he's
Hour
not
4, everybody.
he's never been problematic once, so all good. Yeah.
But yes,
It is no, it is a sad world we live in, like from both political perspective, pop culture perspective. We can only hope for the best, but the light at the end of the tunnel really seems like the train that's going to crash our face.
woo woo.
Woo, woo. Chugga, 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 chugga. Yep. Anyway, anything else you want to add to that?
Nope.
Okay, I think we can move to something a bit more happier, maybe less controversial, even though we will talk about a few controversial things, and it's the Oscars. Not this year's Oscars, because that hasn't happened yet,
Yep.
but we're gonna do an overall of Oscars. What do we think about them? Some of our, I think we talk about a bit of the production, like, how we like the shows and all that, like just the general perspective.
Yes.
Some of the biggest snubs we both think are the biggest snaps in Oscar history, which I would imagine there will be more skewed to the last, let's say, 20, 30 years, because, we are not that old. We might sound old, you know, angry white old man shaking his fist at the sky. Old, but hey, we're not that old. And some of our favorite moments, which we will end up on, like some of our favorite moments. So Shane, Oscars. What does it mean to you? Why do you like them?
I've been very invested in watching the Oscars since I think I was 10. Like
Hmm.
I've watched these every year and I think am up to probably 10, 12 years of doing my annual Oscar party. So
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
this is an event for me. Like
Hmm.
I did used to do Super Bowl parties, but like this is like my real Super Bowl party.
Hmm.
And it's something that I love film and is the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences, their opinions as a collective, the be all end all of film. No. No
Correct.
awards body's going to be, especially not the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, the worst. Um, but there is something special about being able to honor
Hmm.
film in this way. And, even if the films that I love the most don't get honored,
Hmm.
them getting nominated or mentioned on this scale, being in the conversation means that more people are going to hear about it and they're going to, get more attention. And at the end of the day, that's what we need.
Yes.
And more now than ever, if we could get any kind of more motivation to get people to check out film, it makes me happy. So,
Hmm.
and you know, it built like watching this, the anticipation of who's going to win and stuff like that. I try to not get that upset.
Hmm.
If something happens, I think the most upset I've ever gotten was when they announced Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu as Best Director back at the 2016 ceremony for the 2015 films,
Yeah.
and also when Spotlight got named Best Picture. But that's a very personal thing because Mad Max
It
Fury Road
is.
deserved all the Oscars. Um, but it's just been something that's been a part of my life for 2/3 of it, and
Hmm.
it's a celebration of film, and I think film deserves to be celebrated, and I'm not gonna poo-poo any excuse to be able to do that. So,
Yeah. So my brief history would be it's similar to yours, except coming from non-English speaking, country, I only started watching Oscars live. I think it was when I was 17 years old, when I kind of understood like English without like subtitles, without like Czech subtitles. So, and we will get to because that first ceremony I've ever watched live is still probably my favorite, but I think it's not even a controversial pick when we get to it. And yeah, because like ever since I became a like cinephile, a movie buff, whatever you want to call it, like yeah, Oscars, like it's one of those. It doesn't matter if you like them or not. This is the most prestigious award in the movies world. Like doesn't matter if you like them or not. Genuine, it's like Beatles almost. It doesn't matter if you love or hate the Beatles. The influence on the music industry as a general cannot be denied. So, like, your opinions of the Beatles and all the Oscars are kind of meaningless because they exist and they are prestigious. End of that discussion, really. But no, like, I'm kind of like you. I try to not hype myself up too much when my favorites lose and somebody that I don't seem fit gets awarded. But I'm like, I get over it very quickly. I'm like with anything. Like, when something pisses me off, I'm usually like, oh, I'm gonna swear for a couple of minutes and then I'm gonna be chill. It is what it is. So like, and yeah, let's talk. Okay, so let's talk about the format, how the Oscars go. What is because obviously the big announcement for I don't know, maybe some people missed it in 3 years' time.
on
The
YouTube,
yes, is it gonna be 101st or 100th? That's gonna be 101st, right?
I think 101st. I
So
think.
they're gonna pretty much finish the first decade on TV and start a new decade, or not?
Yep.
So not decade, sorry,
Century.
century. Sorry, yeah, there's a difference between decade and centuries. Thank you very much for coming to this podcast. I'm learning so much. Yeah, and they will start a new century on YouTube. So, what are your thoughts about that, Shane?
I think that from an accessibility standpoint, great, because to be frank, there's a lot more flexibility being able to do that too.
Hmm.
And this is the reason why I'm most excited about it switching to YouTube is that the potential that this can truly become just a celebration of film and
Global.
not worrying about being a primetime television show and putting those priorities over it celebrating film.
Yes.
So that's what I'm hoping with this move to YouTube. I hope YouTube just lets them do whatever the hell they want.
Hmm.
And hopefully, whatever the hell they want is more about celebrating film and not trying to put on a variety show.
Yeah. So what I basically what you said, but I come from it from a different lens because yeah, coming from A, non-English speaking country, and B, obviously there's a always for me there's always a big time difference. Now it's actually getting better because the TV for the past like few years, even like what is it now, ABC that's on?
Yes.
They
Yep.
seem to be realizing, hey, not just Americans watch us. This is an actual global event. Maybe we should try to be more accustomed to those people. So my last Oscar ceremony the previous year started at a reasonable midnight here and ended around like 3 a.m. So usually it used to be like you would start like 3 or 4 a.m. and it would finish until like 7. So yeah, so from that standpoint, and from other, you often think about, or many people often forget. So I grew up not necessarily rich. You can say almost poor. So for me, in a good old age of 2008, 2010 internet, without like all the GDPR stuff, DMCA stuff, you could find some dodgy Russian link where you could watch it live, but it would be pixelated. You always, had the hazard of, hey, maybe I'll download, virus or two into my PC, but I will watch the Oscars. Then halfway through that ceremony, the link would stop working, so you would have to quickly go to Google and find a new one. Like I don't know if I know you cannot relate because you always watched it on TV. It's all good.
Yes.
But I think if we have any international viewers, I genuinely think there'll be many stories like mine. Now I can afford to pay for it. So like I actually, I'm paying for the TV that takes the broadcast, so I don't have to pirate it anymore.
So I had a similar feeling with professional wrestling
Mm.
because back when WWE was still pay-per-view, they were $50 a piece. And like my family shelled out for WrestleMania.
Mm.
I had a WrestleMania party, and my grandpa would always get me Survivor Series for my birthday
Hmm.
because it was the week of my birthday. Any other one, you were looking for websites that were like streaming
Yep.
them, and that's like what we did in college until we found out Buffalo Wild Wings aired them, and we
Ooh.
just go there instead. But I've been there trying to find like live broadcasts on the internet and just being like, please don't destroy my computer.
Yep.
Please don't
Yep.
destroy my computer. But no,
See.
like that's commitment though, Lou. That's commitment to
I
cinema.
I know, right? And again, like I was like even when the ceremony would start like 2, 3 a.m., ever since like 2008 or 9, I think I only missed like 2 or 3 ceremonies ever since. Yeah. And yeah, but again, now I can afford to pay for it. It's much easier. I'll just switch on my TV, beautiful resolution, all that good stuff. So going back to YouTube, I love that move because it makes it proper not only global, but
Mm.
B, I think maybe if it was my way, it would be more tailored to rest of the world than Americans, meaning hey, maybe in America you would have to have it at like 8, not 8 p.m., like 8 a.m. or whatever, something like that. I know it's not gonna happen, but hey,
This
Mhm.
this show should start at like maybe 1 p.m. in like California.
Yes,
Like there's no reason this has to be
yeah,
like prime time on a Sunday for
correct,
East Coast United States. Like
correct.
bump this shit up. Like Come
And I
on.
think I would hope YouTube would understand that because like if they are truly hopefully gonna turn it into like a global celebration of movies, they would want to tailor to as big of a all global audience as they can. And that's my last point with the YouTube thing. YouTube is free. Sure, like I think now you need to like create an account and you will get an ad few like
Oh, to be
and
fair,
those
you just need a Gmail account.
yes, but
So
also like yeah, and you will get annoying ads. Yeah, 100%. But it's still no matter where if you live in UK, in America, if you live someplace in Africa, someplace in Asia, as long as it's not China, big firewall
y-
of China is a big thing, and
yep,
YouTube is blocked. But also they use VPNs. Like it's definitely opens up the door to like, hey, this doesn't feel like it's a celebration of movies, but only for Americans. I really like this step as long as they don't fuck it up. To be fair, I don't expect the first couple of years to be any different. I think they will just take what works, I hope, and like slowly start to, hey, what if we did this instead? I really hope they've learned the lesson of, oh yeah, let's give out these awards when with ad breaks or before the ceremony when nobody can see them to shorten. No, 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 fuck that. No, if people want an Oscar, they should be given the Oscar in real life, not commercial break, not
yeah.
before the ceremony. Just so I really like this. As long give big if YouTube does the correct thing and doesn't try to do anything extra fancy schmancy or doesn't announce, hey, by the way, you wanna watch live Oscars? You need to pay. Hmm.
There's no reason that this can't start at like this can't be like a morning thing. Have an Oscar
Mm-hmm.
brunch, go right into the ceremony, and go to town. If I
Yes,
can
yes.
watch WWE Elimination Chamber live in Perth, Australia at 6 a.m. because
Mm-hmm.
I like wrestling, I love movies. I can watch the Oscars earlier in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Also, quick side note, they should do the same damn thing to the Super Bowl. There's no reason the Super Bowl needs to be at 8 p.m. on a Sunday night,
To be
but that's
fair, I don't know many people outside of US that care
I
about Super
was
Bowl.
literally just gonna say this is like a United States problem, but same basic idea. There's no
Mm-hmm.
reason this crap needs to start that late on a Sunday night when people have
Yeah.
work the next day, but whatever.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you you may actually made a nice segue into what should be done with these broadcasts.
Yes.
So I'll give you a quick rundown of my keys to what I want the Oscars to be.
Okay.
So, one, all the major categories that they list on the website and announce as nominations should be on the damn show.
Mm-hmm.
Duh.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't seem like that should be a big ask, but whatever. And they should add a couple more. Not the stupid populist, whatever blockbuster award shit. I mean stunts. And honestly, motion capture voice performances at this point should really be acknowledged too, where we're in cinema. So all the nominated categories should be on the show.
Yes.
Two, I like a good musical medley of popular music, like the Wicked thing. That was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
That really worked for me. Something at the beginning to grab people's attention. For their cool scenes from movies that year that are popular songs and not made for the movie, so they don't qualify for an award, but it would be a cool thing to perform.
Mm-hmm.
Get the attention at the beginning.
Yeah.
Minimize the stand-up comedy crap.
100%.
You can do a few, like that
Mm-hmm.
Adam Sandler skit last year. Love
In my
that made me. Odin, you're embarrassing me in front of my kids. So I laugh. So like I go back and watch that clip again and again. Minimize that. Honestly, I would love a host that just loves film and lifts film up instead of it just being a comedian. But whatever. I I can understand the comedian part, but like I'd prefer somebody who goes up there and actually talks about film and
And makes the
praises that.
same. Yeah, or instead of a comedian who like Conan is great, but many comedians in the past
Yep.
made a hey, this long movie nobody watched because it's so long, right, guys? Nobody watched it
Shut
because
the hell up.
Yeah, I'm like they always make the joke about the longest movies, and it's like nobody watched this. I didn't have the time because it was 8 hours long. Oh,
All five best original song nominees should be played at the show. Just do a
yes,
better job of picking them.
yes.
Because looking back at last year's, that was trash. Like those nominees were terrible, but they should be played. And something should be done for each of these categories. Mostly clips. Show the damn clips. If you're
Yeah.
going to have a performance, highlight the performance.
Hmm.
If I love, I'm a big fan of the periodically throughout the night doing the 10 best picture nominees because I feel like
Yeah.
that works well. And then maybe even just throw like a 2 minute quick montage at the end,
Hmm.
uh, right before they give the award out. That works. The memoriam, this should not be this hard
No.
to get this right. Don't leave people out and don't do weird interpreted dances and shit in front of it. Whatever the hell happened. Was that last year
I think it was a year
or was it the year
before.
before?
I think it was a year
Like,
before. Yeah.
what? So, and let this be a celebration of film and let it go as long as it needs to go.
Hmm. Hmm.
If we're
I.
starting it earlier,
Hmm.
let it be.
Yes.
So, those are the keys to me.
I agree with pretty much all of your points. Like as you mentioned, like I love since we now have 10 best pictures, I loved yeah, like how they spread them around evenly throughout the ceremony. So we get like 2 minute clip from this movie, then 2 minute. I love the like clips of showing like, hey, now this is best editing, and now you show a clip of like how they actually edit, or best sound design, and you actually hear and like
Yep.
somebody talk about that. Like I've loved those, and they done it in the past. So like I love that stuff because like, look, I've seen a bunch of movies, but do I know what goes into best like sound editing? I don't. So it's fucking cool to see that and how hard those people actually work and are vital for any movie to hit, right?
Yeah.
Uh, I think I would like so instead of I would underline your final point because that was my biggest point. Stop, and I hope YouTube will do this because now since it's moving to YouTube, stop tailoring this show, this movie celebration award show to people who don't like movies. Stop fucking doing that. So like yeah, get rid of those. This film is so boring and long. Am I right, guys? Stop doing like, oh,
Terrible.
we have a cut, we need to go now. So now we speed run through the last couple of categories that are usually like the best director, best actor, best actress. We need to speed run because we are already fucking late. No, we're not late. Chill the fuck down. Let them breathe. Let them cook. Like, who the fuck cares? Like, look, I understand it's all about money. It's all about viewership. And I understand Oscars have not had the viewership like Super Bowl has. Nowhere near. Totally get that. I
Never will.
totally get that. No, yeah, never will. Yeah. But now on YouTube, I really hope they will not be sped up. They will not be like, hey, we have a 3 hour deadline. We are sticking to it. No, so like ultimately, I think that was my biggest point. Make the show for the actual people who, yeah, you know what? If you put on 4 hour show celebrating movies, I'll fucking sit through it. And if many people will not, great, they will not watch it. Guess what? Because it's not for them. Like I don't watch Super Bowl. I don't give a fuck about American football. That's why I don't watch Super Bowl. It's as simple as that, people. It's as simple as that.
I watched the Super Bowl, not for the commercials, not for the halftime show, because I actually like American football. Like,
See, good. And I'm happy for
so
you. That's the thing. Like, watch what you watch. Stop tailoring. And that's the same thing. Like, imagine if they tailored Super Bowl to grab even more people to be like, hey, actually, we need to have more Super Bowl commercials. Commercials. We need to have more trailers for new movies. Fuck the football aspect. We need more commoners like to join us. So you know what? We will do a second halftime show. Yes, that's right. There are now two halftime shows because we need more eyeballs. So if you don't like Bad Bunny, guess what? Fucking Kid Rock will show up next because like we need the Trumpers now too. Yeah.
main
So
reason
like
they picked Bad Bunny in the first place is because he's the number one artist on Spotify to get not
yes,
football fans to watch it.
yes,
So
yes. Like it's yeah, like, yeah. But
half
no. So Mhm.
Halftime shows for the people that are watching, not the football.
Mhm.
The football fans need to understand that.
And it
Like,
worked because it was what the
yeah,
most watched show, I think.
it was literally the most watched halftime show ever. So
It's almost like if you have the most popular artist right now, like people will tune in.
here's the thing: nobody's asking me who I want to play at the Super Bowl, and if they did, it would be Weird Al Yankovic next year. But whatever,
Yeah.
because he'd put on a show. It'd be fun.
I feel
So
like Weird Al is one of the few celebrities in our like splintered, world where we fight about everything. I feel like Weird Al is genuinely one of the few we can all agree on. I feel like it's one of those like, yeah, everybody seemed to like him. So like, I feel like it would be actually a really good choice.
but anyway,
Yeah.
so are there any other things that you specifically, Luke, would want to see out of the Oscars?
Well, you mentioned, well, we know stunts are coming. So that's
Yes.
the
That
next year, I
one is
believe.
certainly
Yes.
coming
Yeah.
soon.
I definitely like when you touched on it, like the best motion capture or like or a best voice performer, like an animated movie, not just like voice capture, but like an animated
Yeah,
movie where obviously the animated movies they are not capturing the movements of the actor, right? Like I would think that would be a cool category, especially now when more and more celebrities are going that route and will are voicing, more animated movies, even though they are putting out a proper voice artist out of
it
work.
would be
So
nice to highlight actual
I,
voice actors.
the problem is, right? Like you would start this category with like a best of intentions. Oh yeah, let's highlight some of the voice artists. So, like, they are not so known.
And
But
then
what
it's
would
going to be
happen?
Chris Pratt from Super
Yeah,
Mario.
and Garfield 2, Chris Pratt, Super Mario 3, Chris Pratt. And it's, so yeah. I don't. But yeah, like again, like as he, that's my main grab with this Oscar show that hasn't happened yet. They're only performing 2 out of 5 songs, and I'm like, where is my Train Dream song? Fuck you! Like,
They
I
don't
love
want
Sinners.
everybody crying.
Yes, I love Sinners. That's probably gonna win. I love K-pop Demon Hunters. That is a strong contender. I wouldn't be
No,
mad at that one.
I think Golden might actually win
Look,
because
I think it's
honestly,
split. Yeah, I think it's split. Yeah, but like, no, if you nominate the song, like, look, do we need to hear Diane Warren for like 30th time
no,
again? No,
absolutely not, Luke.
but
We do not need.
I will, if it's 2 songs out of 5, or if it's 5 out of 5, but we need to hear Diane Warren again to her attempt to win an Oscar. I will make the sacrifice. I'll listen to another Diane Warren song
I
against
would like
my
to return
consent.
to my point earlier where I said just make the nominees better, and that's
Yeah.
exactly what I was talking about.
No, but like I hope. No, I don't think I have any other notes. I just hope it will be interesting to see the first couple of years when it moves to YouTube
Yeah.
and how different it will end up being, and what will be the new grabs we not even see coming yet. I think it'll be an interesting time to watch Oscars when it moves to YouTube.
Yep.
So now, do we? You know what?
Snubs.
Yes, I was gonna say let's start on the negatives, quote
Yep.
unquote. How many of would you believe are biggest Oscar snubs do you have on your list?
Oh, I have plenty that I could talk about.
Of
I guess it
course.
depends on how much we want to. Because like there's some that really bother me,
Hmm.
and I could throw out like if we wanted to go like three really strong ones that I really care about, and then there's a bunch of them that I could throw out that
Sure,
really
let's
care.
do. You know what? You know what? Yeah, let's do like three. We really, and that gives me a choice. If you mention somebody that's on my list, I will be like, yeah, that's also on my list, and I can skip that. Okay, let's do three very strong ones and like some honorable mentions. Yeah, okay.
Well,
Please start.
number one for me
I wonder what it
is
is. I wonder what that is.
is best director and best picture, the film of 2015, and it's Mad Max Fury Road. Because
I know.
how did they not like? Okay, that's weird. I could understand it probably not winning Best Picture. It
Mhm,
should
mhm,
have, but whatever. But
mhm,
how did you not give George Miller Best Director after they won every single technical award? Every single person was like, "This would never have been done without George Miller," and you're just like, "Nah, I'm not gonna vote for him." Just it is one of the most impeccably directed pieces of film ever.
Hmm.
Obviously, I'm very specifically passionate about this very one. So that's the one that I'm by far the most passionate about.
See, this reminds me what would happen in 6 years' time, where Dune Part 1 won all the technical awards, but unlike George Miller, Denis Villeneuve was not even nominated. So I'm like, yeah, but look, I think I can contest the movie, as you said. Like I'm a bit higher on Spotlight than Fury Road, and I like, but this is not. We don't have to get into this now because this is a longer conversation. But like for the best director, yeah, it's very hard. Like I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if when let's say if they ever do something like we will reveal how many people voted for X, these directors. I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if it was very close between George Miller and you know and Alexander Gonzalez Iñárritu. I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if it was Mario of like maybe tens of votes.
I
Like, yeah.
I'm well, first off, I'm not saying that AGI didn't direct the hell out of The Revenant
Hmm.
because he did. I think in context too, he literally just won the year before too.
Yes.
Birdman. I'm like, you really need to double down on that. But
Hmm. Fair.
that's my first one.
No.
Do you want me to do all three or are we switching
No,
back?
no, no. I think we'll just take turns.
Okay.
So for me, my strongest out of my list. You know what? I've been battling, saying this for a while. So yeah, I think this probably will be the strongest. Naomi Watts not being nominated for Mulholland Drive. Like, if you watch Mulholland Drive, whether you understand what happens or not, that's a different discussion.
Fair.
The fact that Naomi Watts has not been nominated for that movie in that year, like to me, it's totally insane. Like it genuinely doesn't make any lick of sense, especially when I still think of her as an Oscar winning for like I think like she was nominated for 21 grams, like two or a year or two after. She didn't win. She still has not won an Oscar, and that kind of feels wrong. That kind of feels like this reality is weird because like because she is not an Oscar winner. And in my mind, she has been for a while, but it's not. And especially for this movie, and I'm like, what? I don't genuinely don't get it because this is like one of the like this is 2001 movie, right? Still to this day, this must be one of the 10, 15 best performances of this millennia so far.
It's wild that movie literally only got a director nomination.
For David Lynch, yes.
I feel like the Academy as a collective we're just like,
This was too weird to nominate for
what
Best
is
Picture.
this?
Yeah.
But like we acknowledge that the directing of putting this all together was really impressive.
Yes.
We have no idea what the hell to do with it. So we're just gonna
We don't understand
ah,
it, so no best screenplay for you. We don't know what that movie was, so no best movie that doesn't make sense. But hey, the directing was spectacular. So David Lynch, you're one of us, my dude. Let's have at least nomination.
oh my god. Now Naomi Watts' performance is really impressive. And
Hmm.
I'm trying to remember who won. Um, or even who was nominated in 2001 for Best Actress.
See, had we
Um,
been a better podcast, we would have done the research.
there we go. Um, I guess my number two, and this is going to sound insanely greedy,
Okay.
but I know Return of the King won 11 Academy Awards, but how the hell did Andrew Lesney not even be nominated for cinematography?
Hmm.
Like somebody, all of those voters watched Return of the King, or
Hmm.
maybe they didn't because only now do they have to actually watch the movies, right? Um, they watched Return of the King and saw that lighting of the beacon sequence, and we're like, you know what? That's not that impressive. That
I could
doesn't
do
look
it
that
better.
great. And I'm just like, how did that even not get nominated?
Hmm.
And like I said, this sounds really greedy because it got nominated and won 11 Academy Awards. But honestly, it could have broke the record and had 12, to be
Hmm.
frank. And I feel very strongly about that because my favorite Academy Award category is cinematography because I love how films can look.
Yeah.
And that's cinematography. Like that's how that is. So that is one that I'm just like, that makes no sense to me.
Hmm. I will have more coherent thoughts when I finally rewatch the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So, tune in whenever that happens. But I
Luke,
believe you.
controversial opinion, they look great.
I know, right? But no, like to me, that is because I knew it won 11 Oscars, right? So like I obviously know that. To me, that's surprising that one of them wasn't for cinematography because I always thought it swept all the technical awards.
No, it didn't even
Hmm.
get nominated for cinematography. But the weirdest one that it got original song. Because Into the West, the Annie Lennox song that plays over the credits, got
Oh,
nominated and won.
okay. See, like I haven't seen that movie ever like for the last 20 years, so like I didn't even I was like, What the fuck? So
And it
what?"
got zero acting nominations.
Which like look, I can kind of understand that. Like
Well, because it's hard when you have like a
and
literal ensemble like that
yes,
to
talk about
people out.
miscasting.
Oh my God,
Mm,
that would have if that was an award, this would have ate that shit up. Like
yes.
100%. But because Mystic River, I think, won three of
Hmm.
the acting awards that year, which it earned because that's a really well acted film. But
Hmm. Yeah. So my
next,
second one is also for acting, also for a woman, and also something like this is not like I think this is one of the most obvious one because everybody keeps bringing this up, but I will also bring it up because like I cannot. It wakes me up sometimes from the middle of the night, and it's Amy Adams not being nominated for Arrival. I still remember the year of 2016, well, also the 2017's Oscars because that's for 2016, all right? And everybody and their mom on the internet talking about Oscars, like, oh, hey, Amy Adams is a shoo-in. Who else will be nominated this year? And then, no, her name is not on the list. And I'm like, wait, they made a mistake, right? Like, they must have made a mistake. Like, what? Like, that movie, A, is spectacular. B, is a modern day sci-fi masterpiece. C, she is single, like, the front, center, middle, and in the time of that fucking movie, because, if you know the twist, like, she's all over this movie. Like, you don't have Arrival without Amy Adams being. I guess it's such a like understated performance. Like I don't understand. Like, or did she kill somebody's dog? Like I don't understand that.
they just don't want to acknowledge her for some unfounded reason.
Like she is like, especially in 2010s, you could argue like she would be a like top three actresses that had the best streak of 2010s. That decade that has so many strong movies. How many of great performances were by Amy Adams? Insane amount. I'll tell you that. I done the numbers. It's insane amount. You can check me on it. And it's so frustrating where it's like there's such an obvious snub and yeah, she's just not nominated. I'm like, what? Yeah.
Like, I'm dumbfounded by the fact that she hasn't won an Oscar at this point. And the fact that she
Yeah.
didn't get acknowledged at all for that film is completely insane.
Hmm. Hmm.
They have something against Denis, don't they?
It seems like it. Like, all the technical categories are won by Dune and Dune Part 2, but like for nothing for
They
Denis.
disqualified the score for the second one. It's all kinds
Yeah.
of shenanigans with his
Like,
movies, apparently. And what his first film to win an Oscar, I guess, was Deakins for Blade Runner, right?
I
Maybe.
believe so, because yeah, Deakins won for that cinematography, which it was very deserved. That was stunning looking box office flop, as we learned.
It's I really want to pick another cinematography one, but I will say the general thoughts, honorable mentions.
Okay.
And this might be very, very recency biased, but this could also be like a collective
Hmm.
one that I'm very frustrated about, and I you know you are too. No other choice.
That's on my list, so I don't have to talk about that. So go off Queen.
One,
Hmm.
how is this not even nominated for international feature film? Is
Yep.
mind-boggling to me.
Hmm.
Mind-boggling.
Hmm.
This is the type like this should have even been more nominated than Parasite
Hmm. Yep.
because like this could have easily got acting nominations, editing, director, like
Cinematography.
yep, cinema, like so many things. This is and Park Chan Wook
Hmm.
apparently can't catch a break because no Old Boy, no Handmaiden, no like I was so certain the decision to leave was going to be acknowledged. And just like,
Same.
what?
Yep.
What?
Yep. Yep.
So I
Yep.
have a question. So you know how each wing is responsible for the nominations
Yes.
for those categories. So is it all the international directors and stuff that filmmakers that vote for international feature?
I don't know that, to be honest.
I have to
I
look
mean, it
that up
would kind of make sense, but like at the
because if
same
it
time, it would
is,
not.
apparently most of the world has a problem with Asian cinema and
Mm,
not giving more attention to that
hmm
because, and maybe I'm biased because I'm a humongous fan of Asian cinema. I'm
hmm
like, if I had to pick any other country besides the United States whose films I love the most, it's Japan.
hmm
But Korea's up there too, because
Yes.
like, and honestly, Frank, even China and Hong Kong up there too. But how?
hmm
How? So very recent, but I'm still very upset.
No, it is definitely recency bias, but I'm there with you. It was on my list as well, so I was deciding if I should talk about this, so I don't have to. Well, I'll just add my bit. So let's quickly do some counting. Best picture, best international picture, best director, best actor, best cinematography, best editing. Probably, like if we're really generous, music, sound design, and even the actress.
I would
Like,
throw in supporting actress
yes. So
100% too.
about 8 or 9 easily. And it's not like it just because we are two fanboys of this movie. If you actually watch the movie, you will see how brilliant it is in all those categories.
Screenwriting.
Yeah, I mean, it would be adapted because it's
Yeah.
based on a book.
And
Yes.
also the adapted screenplay category this year is weak.
Is it? Oh, yeah. I cannot remember it off the top of my
I
head.
think a
So,
bunch of them just got nominated because they're best picture contenders.
mm,
And like a lot of them, like the writing's not the strongest point of it.
mm,
But
yeah.
yes, no other choice.
No,
100%.
the 100%. So for my last proper pick, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna do, yeah. So I'm gonna mention another actress. This wasn't planned. I'm just like, like they seem to be snapped a lot. And this is a name that came up with a new person took over as it like a CEO of Oscars or like director of Oscars. Her name came up that she should have been nominated, but it's not Toni Collette for Hereditary, even though she should have been. Another name that came up, Lupita Nyong'o for Us.
Ah, the tethered.
Yes. So like she does what Michael B. Jordan did, 7 years later in Sinners. Like she plays twins, but they are even more distinct. The level of subtlety, if you know the twist, the level of subtlety she needs to do for, to set up various things to for you to understand, oh shit, this is what's happening throughout this movie. And her performance, like especially down there with the other tethers, like the like almost like a ballet sequence towards the end. I remember watching it in a cinema. It was like March, April. It was fairly early on, and I remember thinking, if there was a like justice in the world, she would have been nominated for Oscars. But like I know Oscars hate horror movies. Well, they seem to be slightly better now because like a Substance, Sinners, obviously. But like, if there was a justice, like she would have been well, she's already an Oscar winner, but she would have been at least nominated for this movie. And yeah, like she is excellent in Us, and she like talk about carrying the movie. You will remember her and her performance from Us, whether you and I think that's the to speaking to the performance, whether you like Us as much as I do or don't.
I
I
do.
Yes, me too. But like even if somebody like I understand like for it's not for many it's not as high as like Get Out or even Nope. Totally understand that. That's a different discussion. But I think even those people would probably say, yeah, but Lupita was definitely great thing about Us, and she should have been nominated.
So she's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Hmm
Building off of that, yes, Toni Collette. I
hmm
I do my own awards, and
hmm
for last year's Oscar, like my Wasteland Reviewer Awards, out of my five Best Actress nomination, four of them were for horror movies.
Nice, nice.
Naomi Scott for Smile 2 was incredible.
Hmm
Demi Moore for The Substance, Lily
hmm
Rose Depp for Nosferatu, and Nell Tiger Free for The First Omen. Like
hmm
actresses showing up delivering incredible performances in horror films has been going on since Ellen Burstyn
Yes.
with The Exorcist,
Yeah.
and never gets enough credit. But no, Lupita Nyong'o was absolutely incredible in Us, and that should have been nominated. And Toni Collette was a really close one for me to bring up too.
Yeah, like, but I feel like her name is like even more obvious than Amy Adams. So I'm like, you know what? I'll mention her briefly because that's
Yeah.
like one of the most obvious mistakes that's ever happened in the Academy. It's like, everybody was like, damn, Tony Collette in Hereditary was fucking awesome. So, yeah.
So I guess do I'm gonna do some quick run throughs of
Yes.
things just off the top of my head. So one, Challengers score.
Mm-hmm.
What? Ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Mad Max Fury Road also for score.
Mm-hmm.
Serious. Honestly, anything with the Iron Claw,
Mm-hmm.
like something, like couldn't throw that movie a single bone. Makes absolutely no sense to me. The Dark Knight, I feel like's a pretty easy, very common one, but like
Yep. Yep.
looking back at 2008, that's like leaps and bounds of like the other films. Um, Two big ones going back, Kubrick and Best Picture for 2001: A Space Odyssey
Mm-hmm.
before its time, and back to 1990, Martin Scorsese and
Mm-hmm.
Goodfellas. Like, no disrespect to Kevin Costner and Dances with Wolves, but like in hindsight, that's one of the worst like snubs there. And the granddaddy of all legacy snubs here for me is almost every single time Roger Deakins was nominated for cinematography and didn't win for 14 times until he finally did. It's like,
Yep.
how do you look at Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And the revolutionary things they did in post production to change the filtering of all of it digitally. How do you not acknowledge that? And I love There Will Be Blood too. Robert Elswit's one of the best cinematographers out there too. Really wish that Deakins would have won for No Country for Old Men, but that's
Mm-hmm.
that one I'm not going to push too much about.
Yeah. Yeah. So for my, no, I don't think to add to yours, I would add only one other obvious one. Alfred Hitchcock never winning and the director. Well, same with Stanley Kubrick, by the way.
Yeah,
Like,
they're in the
so,
same boat. Like,
yes,
see,
pretty much. Like they've been, I think Hitchcock's been nominated three, four times. I think Kubrick like two, three, something like that. But I know neither of them won. So, yep. But for my quick ones. Ralph Fiennes never winning an Oscar and delivering something like Schindler's List, something like even an
Grand, Bu-
English Patient,
Grand
like
Budapest, he should
Grand
have
Buddha.
100% been nominated.
Yes,
That's
but
another
even
one I get riled up about too.
yes, but even in something like as boring as English Patient, he is acting his butt off. Even like in a conclave, he's excellent, like from a modern times. But in between conclave and the English Patient, there is about almost 30 years. And he's delivered in like Constant Gardener we watched. He is like, you can even argue Voldemort is fucking awesome. And I know
He
they,
easily could have been nominated for
like Deathly
Goblet
Hallows.
of maybe Goblet of Fire when he gets first
Yeah,
introduced,
first introduced. Yeah. That
or
would probably be like
the
supporting. Yeah.
last one.
Hmm.
Like one of them,
Yes. But
like
like even minus the like franchise movies, which he doesn't really do that often, but like it's insane that Ralph Fiennes does not have a single Oscar to his name. To me, that's insane. Uh, and then two obvious ones: Saving Private Ryan, losing to Shakespeare in Love. Look, Shakespeare in Love is perfectly fine movie. I don't hate it.
I
It's
enjoy
just
that
that
movie, but like should not
yes,
have won Best Picture.
it's perfectly fine. It's like I will compare it, and this is a wild comparison, but bear with me. I'm probably one of the five people who unapologetically loves Green Book, the movie.
I do
However,
too, but it should have won Best Picture.
exactly, I will. If you go to Letterboxd, I'm sure I rated it 5 out of 5 because I love that movie. I unapologetically. Is it a bit like schmaltzy? Is it a bit more like one? Sure, you can make all that. I've heard them before. Yes. Should it won Best Picture? Absolutely not. And the same applies with this movie. Like and the same applies with Shakespeare in Love. I didn't rate it nearly as high. I thought it was fine, but Saving Private Ryan. Like, how do you see this? I think that if anything, this just shows Harvey Weinstein and Miramax were one powerful fucking bunch of animals.
The 90s specifically.
Exactly.
So I'm not gonna do any slander against Braveheart. I love Braveheart. I'm happy Braveheart won. But Fargo versus The
Hmm.
English Patient,
Yep.
Saving Private Ryan versus Shakespeare in Love. And I'm really high on American Beauty, but the freaking Matrix came out in 1999. And I
Hmm.
would even say, even The Sixth Sense. Like, these are two genre films that are some of the greatest in their
Hmm.
genres. And you gave it to American Beauty,
Yeah.
which now in hindsight also feels even more weird and gross because,
But
Kevin
yeah,
Spacey. But like,
we
is
didn't
that
know.
a Miramax film too?
I don't actually remember, to be
I
honest.
don't I don't remember.
Wouldn't be
Um,
surprised.
the 90s were an interesting time for Best Picture,
And
apparently.
again, like I think if anything, that just goes to show how powerful Weinstein or Weinsteins were,
Yep.
and how why many actresses have wanted to speak out, but they knew what would have happened because, it's very hard to speak out somebody who's this top of a chain big
Yeah.
animal. So, and the last one on my list, the fact that the Do the Right Thing wasn't even nominated for Best Picture, let alone won it, in that year is mind-boggling. Like Do the
Trying
Right
to miss
Thing,
Daisy.
and it
Trying to
happened,
miss Daisy.
and it happened again with the Green Book and Black Klansman. It happened literally the same situation, and I'm like, Academy, have we not learned anything?
I made a joke on another show, and I'm trying to remember who I made. Oh, I think I made this with Heath on my one show.
Mhm.
If you really think about it, Sinners is about to lose to another movie where they have a long sequence of a minority driving a white person around.
That is true.
There's one battle after another with oh,
I'm still hoping there's gonna be more upsets. And to be fair, like I've been thinking about this, not to get us off tracks,
yeah,
but I think last year's ceremony kind of proves, because there's more and more people, younger people, being in academy and voting for stuff. I think that's like not as clear cut as it used to be. So this gives me hope that there will be some upsets. Anyway.
I think that this could be another 2007
Hmm.
where sinners in one battle after another are going to like live with each other
Yes. Yes.
for forever. Like No Country and There Will Be Blood.
Like, no matter what happens, they will, right? No matter what happens. But I genuinely, like, for example, Wunmi Mosaku winning BAFTA, I think, especially, like, talk about, like, a race that, like, Oscar race that's fully open, best supporting actress, that category is wide open.
Oh, and
Leading man, you
Best
know,
Supporting Actor too, because every single award show somebody different's won.
yeah. So, like, leading man, it seems to be between Timmy, and Leo, even though like Michael V. Jordan should fucking be in a conversation,
Yep,
like if we're honest.
100%, 100%.
But so like so that race is pretty much those two guys. But every other category is you can throw three, four-sided coin into the air and basically wherever it lands. So I'm hoping for some, but again, we'll see in 2 weeks. It's fine.
We'll see.
But no, do the right thing. I'm not as high on Black Klansman, but I need to rewatch it because there is a lot of things happening in that movie.
To
But
be fair,
do
there's
the
a lot of other films that could have won over Green Book
yes,
specifically.
yes,
But Black Klansman stands out because that just seems personal
and the
at that
do the
point.
yes, but the do the right thing. I only also watched once, and talk about a movie that grips you and doesn't let go. Like Spike Lee directs the fuck out of it,
Yep.
makes it makes it establishes this world where you feel like you're in a New York on that day. Like it's insane. I don't understand. Like he is he a bit up in himself lately? Yes. Like I don't necessarily like him on a personal level because he seems to be a bit of a dickish as well at times. But look. but he's a brilliant filmmaker, and he should have been nominated for direction of that movie, of specifically Do the Right Thing, and
Yep.
in the movie should have been in a contention for a, and the fact it wasn't even nominated is insane. That's it.
Insane. You ready to talk about some of our favorite moments?
Yes, let's flip a coin. And I would do, you know what? Let's try to be a bit more positive. So let's do four
Okay.
favorite moments. So please, Shane, start. Let's kick us out.
I'm not gonna lie. My favorite moment ever
Hmm.
at the Academy Awards
Hmm.
was the performance of I'm Just Ken. The
Definitely not recency
moment
bias.
I have never had more fun watching the Oscars than watching that performance. The Billie Eilish laughing behind, and then when Ryan Gosling sits up and Margot Robbie not being able to hold it together. And the whole performance is just the most absolutely delightful thing. And Ryan Gosling did not want to do it.
Hmm.
And that God, they committed to the bit.
Yes.
And that's exactly why they need to play the songs.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Yep. Yep.
that's my most joyous one for sure. That brings me so much joy.
Hmm. So if I do it on that, that's not on my list, but that is very good moment. Like that was, I remember that from 2 years ago now. No, wait, wait.
Two
No, yeah,
years.
2 years ago. Yeah.
Yep.
Time has no meaning after COVID. Genuinely, like it
Yep.
blends in together. No, I remember being that was like, before the show, I was like, I'm just kidding. I guess it's fine. Like, I'm not mad, but I know it's not my favorite. But after that performance, I'm like, okay, it should win all the fucking awards, including Best Picture somehow. Like, I was hyped there because they did it really well. So I guess my joyous one, like joyous one, would probably be, you know what? Yeah, Roberto Benigni winning for. So first of all, he wins for a best international feature, so he goes to accept it. I think that's a more famous one. He walks over on the chairs and he's
Yep.
like, I wanna kiss you all. I'm so happy. And like, like Sophia Loren is here. And like, oh my God. And it's just like the most Italian man you've ever met with a very beautifully broken English, just trying to like do the speech, like because he didn't think he will win. So like I think that's the most famous one. But him winning for best actor, it's also awesome because he then says I this was a horrible mistake because I used up all my English in the previous speech and now I don't know what to say. Like if I said like and he said something like I said I wanted to kiss you all now I wish to kidnap you and make love to all of you like Jupiter would or something like that and I'm like holy shit this is so unhinged. And you can tell like he wasn't expecting it. He tell like he had such a blast.
No,
And that's like a true showmanship of emotions. I always admire when people, because nowadays it's like, well, last couple of years it's been more open, but before that it was always like cut and dry. It's like, we know this person is winning. We know this movie is winning. So they already have a list. They already have their speech practiced in a mirror 10,000 times, and you can tell. And so when these happens, when these like joyous occasions and like you can see actual emotions happen, it's beautiful.
absolutely. Um, my next one, and I don't 100% remember which of the ones it was when he went up to go because he won multiple that night,
Hmm.
was when Bong Joon-ho
Hmm.
made the comment about subtitles in his
Yes.
speech and how powerful that was. And also just him generally
Hmm.
throughout the night and in each of his speeches and the things that he was saying and like kissing his Oscars together. Like
Yes.
he was a treasure. And that made me so happy because that changed the game
Yes.
too. The fact that an international film won Best Picture was wild.
And director.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So because Bong Joon-ho in general throughout that whole Oscar ceremony loved it.
I feel like also he made some sort of joke like, this has been a horrible mistake. I don't even know what to say now. Like I said everything I wanted to say, like something along those lines. But if you know what's funny? This is second on my list, and we haven't consulted each other before the show, so I didn't know. But like I'm gonna cheat. So not only Parasite, but Everything Everywhere All at Once dominating their years. I was like that's my second place for both because like I first of all, both of them are incredible movies. Second of all, both of them are kind of underdog story that like
Yeah.
oh, like as he said, Parasite opened the doors to hey, not only we nominate the foreign picture outside of foreign category, but they actually are winning, and we can actually award director. We can actually give him the best picture because it was the best picture of that. Well, it's obviously
What
obviously objective. Mm.
2019 was an amazing year for movies, and
Yes.
they needed to send COVID to mess things up because it could never be replicated again. It's just like,
To be fair,
God,
yeah.
I miss 2019.
Me too. Like I remember being so hyped for Parasite. I remember being so hyped for Bong Joon-ho winning everything. And like and again to the other point, everything everywhere all at once. I was like, oh, because if I remember correctly, we went into the ceremony like all of us thinking, oh, it will snatch a few maybe, but that was one of the first.
1917 was
Yeah,
probably going to win, which still a great film.
was it? 1917 against Everything Everywhere? No, that's not the
Oh no,
year.
sorry, we're
Oh,
still talking about
Parasite.
Parasite.
Yeah, yeah, sorry,
No,
yeah.
no, Luke, I sadly had to sit there and watch Banshees of Inisherin not win
Yes.
shit because, and I couldn't even be mad about it because I'm
Hmm.
like, I
Hmm.
can't be mad at everything everywhere.
Correct.
I
And
can't.
it's just such a joyous because like if Parasite was the underdog because of like it's a foreign movie and it never happened before, everything Everywhere was an underdog because it came out in March. It was an indie movie that made like it was the most profitable for 824 until Martin Supreme.
Artie,
And yes, Martin, as friends of the show, Martin Pimpong call him. And yeah, like it was the underdog who could from different reasons than Parasite, and I always love those stories. And just to see how it was celebrated, that was a joyous night for me. So yeah, that's my number two.
my next one, and the producers of the Academy Awards need to stop trying to
Hmm.
predict what's going to win because because some moments work out perfectly, and some moments you get Joaquin Phoenix not having Anthony Hopkins to hand best actor to because they rolled the dice on that one. But the
Hmm.
one that they did roll the dice on and it worked was back with the when Francis Ford Coppola,
Hmm.
George Lucas, and Steven Spielberg were up there to hand out Best Director, and Martin Scorsese won for The Departed. Because can
Hmm.
you imagine if he didn't win and
Hmm.
his three best friends were up there? Somebody else, but it did work out. And that was long overdue. And
Yes.
that was such a special moment that he literally had his best friends
Hmm.
and like his closest filmmaking friends up there to give him that award. It was a really special moment.
100%. I would kind of compare it to, when Christopher Nolan finally won his Oscar and it was Steven Spielberg that kind of like almost like handed over the reins. Like,
Steven Spielberg has been thanked more than God
yeah, yep,
at the Academy Awards.
yes. And for a good
Literally,
reason. For a
literally.
good reason. So my number three, purely based on joy, we're still sticking with joy.
Yeah.
Natu Natu winning for the best original song. First of all, that song slaps fucking hard. Second of all, it slaps. Third of all, the two Indian dudes being on a stage, just like, and starting singing like different songs. I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. This is the pure joy of the moment. Pure, hey, we were here for vibes, but we did win. So like, hey, I don't know what to do. And I love those moments when this happens. And again, breakthrough for Indian cinema because like I don't think they've been many nominations for India at all. Like, let alone in a song category. So
Yeah.
like that was definitely a first one. And again, when you watch RRR, that Natu Natu is that sequence is so fucking awesome. That it's so hard not to be hyped right after.
Still haven't watched it.
Really?
It's one of those ones where it's just like you're having a discussion.
Hmm.
Other recording about like sometimes
Yep.
it's just that long of a film and you just can't fit it into, and that was it. 100%. My last one, and this is the most excited I have ever gotten about a Best Picture winner,
Hmm.
and because it's so deeply personal to me, was watching Return to the King sweep that night
Of
and
course.
then winning. Like it felt like me watching the New York Giants win two Super Bowls.
Hmm.
Because like I'm a big football fan, and like I felt personally invested as a 12-year old. Yeah, 12-year old. Watching the Academy Awards and seeing them win.
Hmm.
Like that was so special to me. And I haven't reached that high of a movie winning Best Picture since. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I could
Oh
have
well.
back in 2016, but whatever. We already talked about that.
Yeah. No, that's yeah. So my last one is a bit of a cheat because
Okay.
it's not a moment, it's an actual ceremony. Would you, if I ask you, would you have a ceremony you enjoy the most?
I not gonna lie, I don't think I'd be able to narrow it down like that because there's always stuff that I really dislike about some of the ceremonies. At least since
Yeah.
I've been having my Oscar parties, there's some things shows that have gone on.
Yep.
But what's the ceremony you want to highlight?
So, like my last one would be when I first watched Oscars live, which was the 2009 Oscars 81st Academy Awards, hosted by Hugh Jackman, and for many reasons. So first, we'll talk about a
One
showman.
of my favorite hosts for
See,
sure.
so talk about a greatest showman. Before he became greatest showman, he was one of
Yeah,
the greatest one-time hosts. Like the opening number is fascinating. It's great. It's funny. It's charming. The Heath Ledger being, awarded his post-mortem Oscar, and it was done in a way where, like, I believe it was Alan, what's his name? The Little Miss Sunshine actor.
Alan Arkin.
Yes, Alan Arkin, thank you. He opened the envelope and everybody knew it was going to be him, so there was not even a pause. He just opened the envelope like Heath Ledger, Dark Knight, and his family accepted Oscar, for him. Even if Dark Knight wasn't nominated, like that show was, Anne Hathaway was nominated for the first time, I believe. Like, Angelina Jolie was nominated. Like, it seemed like it was one of those shows that everything felt like this is how it should have been. Even if, like, not every single like movie I would like to be nominated was nominated, but Hugh Jackman, like I don't remember any awkward jokes, any this didn't work. Okay. I just remember having absolute blast despite the fact I had to go to school like pretty much the moment it finished because it finished right around 7, so I started to prep for a full day in high school. And I still did not regret the decision. So that was like, that's a bit of a cheat, but that's like, that those Oscars were like, all have always will be special to me because they're my first full Oscars I watched live.
They need to do more showman type
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
hosts like that. And
Yes,
Hugh Jackman was amazing.
he was. He was. So do you have any honorable mentions?
To get like some ones that really stand out to me, like I love watching this clip, and this is gonna sound like sarcastic, but Joe Pesci winning his Oscar and saying literally one line and walking away, I'm just like,
Yep. Yep.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just perfect. Um, Olivia Colman winning her,
Yes.
like that was so wonderful. Brendan Fraser
Mm-hmm.
winning his was also like so heartwarming. And certainly recency bias. I'm not joking. I think that Adam Sandler gag last year with Conan O'Brien was one of the funniest things they've done on the show in a long time. And
Mm-hmm.
he's not nominated for Jay Kelly, but I really hope Adam Sandler shows up and something again with Conan O'Brien. And that's probably my most anticipated part of the show, outside of watching I Lied to You performed during the
Mm-hmm.
ceremony
Yeah.
for this year. But I'm trying to think of, you know, that Will Ferrell Jack Black skit
Get
that
off
they
the
did.
stage. Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember if this was the Oscars or it was the Oscars where Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger was up there. Was that the Golden Globes where they point at Michael Keaton?
No, I think it was the Oscars. I think it was the
Yeah,
Oscars because they were making fun of like, Batman is here.
he's right there. And Michael Keaton, without losing a step, just like went in full Batman. I'm like,
Yeah, for like a second, like that
yeah,
look. And I was
you
like, damn, beautiful. Yes.
I love those little moments like that. And now this is going to sound weird me bringing this up because who it is and their perception now.
Hmm.
One of my favorite like people giving out an Academy Award was I think it was a documentary short film one where Louis C.K. came out and was so funny. And
Hmm.
he's like, this Oscar's going home in a Honda Civic tonight. This is going to be the most valuable thing in the apartment when this gets home tonight. And like, I remember him doing that bit and being like, he could host next year. And then,
At his peak, he would have probably, like, he could have
yeah.
easily. Yeah.
And then, he
Yes.
masturbated in front of Sarah Silverman and,
Many,
all kinds
many
of fun
others.
stuff like that. So,
Yeah. Many others too. Yeah.
and
No.
many others.
Yeah.
So,
Some, like, humans are not great people. No. But for me, like obviously, like my Czech bias will be showing at some point. So, us or Czech Republic winning for Kolia in like '94, I think, and that was obviously great. We haven't been even nominated for Best Foreign Feature in over 2 decades now. So, woo-hoo. um, or watch for Czechoslovakia for like closely observed trains. One for like in 1967. That's a great movie. That's a great win.
mhm.
Obviously, Miloš Forman, winning the year of Jaws over Steven Spielberg is to me that's like if this was me, I'm just gonna say if Miloš Forman was a better man than me. If I did that in the year of Jaws, I would never let that go. I would be like, I did this, because holy shit. So he was a better man. Unfortunately, he was a better man than me, because that to me is fucking wild. Even his own kids in a documentary, like What Doesn't Kill You, they say, even my kids, when they come to visit me in America, they didn't want to see my movie. They're like, Dad, we heard a lot of things about Jaws. Let's go watch Jaws. And I'm like, damn, that
Damn.
must fucking suck. But also fair, because he made a movie that's not really for kids.
Yeah.
But Halle Berry winning her Oscar and like having that speech about opening doors to all the for all the black women, to all the black men, that kind of aged poorly, because like Academies made some questionable choices as far as like best leading actress. There have been quite a few best supporting actress, but leading. Hmm. So, but it's emotional speech. It's a great speech. Like Halle Berry deserved it for Monster. If you've seen Monsters Ball, holy that's a hell of a performance. And lastly, again, joyous Ben Affleck and Matt Damon winning for screenwriting. They didn't like seem like they didn't think they will. Ben Affleck voice cracks, so he sounds like a teenager for like 2 seconds because he's so hyped and excited, and they are thinking they're moms and stuff. It's like this is insane that they won for Goodwill Hunting for writing that screenplay, and that joy on their faces. Like imagine from with your best buddy writing a movie and then winning an Oscar for it. What a life.
There you go. That was
Hmm.
certainly a special moment. And even like Robin Williams winning that night too.
Hmm. Have
Special
you heard
too.
his Have you heard this Jack Nicholson story?
From that night.
Hmm. So it was the same year, if I'm not mistaken, Jack Nicholson won for As Good as It Gets, right?
Yeah.
His Oscar. So apparently he shared it on Graham Norton show. Apparently they were in backstage together when after they won already, both of them. And he apparently in his old Jack Nicholson looked at him like, Rob, now I have one for every decade. And he was like, "You bastard!" I had my first one, and you're like, "You bastard!" I thought it was a great story. I was like, and I miss Robin Williams every fucking day. So I thought it was
He
just
did a
worth
great
mentioning.
Jack impression for
He
sure.
he did the king of impressions. Like,
Yep.
Jack Nicholson about everybody. And I only wish to see what would his career look like now.
Yeah.
That would be so fucking cool. But anyway,
But
no, well,
anyways,
I think we've touched on some great moments.
yep.
Any closing thoughts on Oscars at all, Mr. Sheen? Tell me.
It's my Super Bowl. I
Same.
love it. I can't wait for my, as we record, we're 2 weeks away from
Yep.
Oscars and can't wait for my Oscar party. And
hmm
we'll be watching Frankenstein, Train Dreams, and one battle after another, and then go right into the show.
So I'm gonna rewatch in a cinema Train Dreams and Sinners because
Nice.
I have a friend from work who hasn't seen Sinners yet. So we're gonna see it next weekend, and the Train Dreams the Saturday just before the Oscars. And like I've seen Sinners in a cinema, so I'm less excited. I'm almost excited to revisit that movie, but Train Dreams to watch in a cinema, even at least once,
Yep.
I cannot fucking wait. I genuinely cannot wait. So like yeah, that's my excitement, and yeah, I'm looking forward to see what will happen, and I'm hoping to be right, and there will be more Sinners love than it's predicted. I just cannot wait. But
Here's hope.
here again, hope dies last, Shane. And yeah, but before we say goodbye, do you have a movie or anything you wanna quickly recommend?
Pick Elvis Presley in concert, the new Baz
Nice.
Luhrmann documentary concert film. The footage is so crisp and gorgeous and so intimate. And this film, over 100 minutes, just captures how amazing of a showman and performer Elvis Presley was on that stage. And had to see this in IMAX. Like,
hmm
I went to a 3:30 showing on a Wednesday, left work early so I could get there
hmm
because I was not going to not see this in IMAX. And it was on the same level as watching Stop Making Sense,
hmm
the Talking Heads concert film in IMAX. There's the fluidity of how it was all edited together, the performances, the energy, and you're just seeing somebody putting themselves out there so raw, but also you're seeing somebody so passionate about performing and entertaining people, but also at the same time killing themselves right in
Yep.
front of you. And there's like a darker undercurrent to that because you can tell he's strung out and hopped up on drugs to make it through some of these concerts. He's profusely sweating
hmm
and like, but he left it all out there. And it was incredible experience.
How high are you on the Elvis movie from Bass from a couple of years ago?
I liked it.
Okay.
I I I wish it felt I wish it felt more like deeper than it felt
hmm
like it turned out to me. But I loved what he did with this documentary and putting this all together for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
This is my number two film of the year so far.
What's the number one?
Bone Temple.
Yes. That's a good answer. That's a
Yep.
very good answer.
And then good luck, have fun, don't die.
But isn't it technically 2025 movie?
No,
Is it not?
no.
Oh, it's one of those that will always be on IMDb as 2025 because it premiered in like two festivals in
It
September.
didn't get released anywhere until
Yeah,
now. So
yeah, yeah. Because I know friend of the show, Rowan, watched
he
it in
saw
like
it.
October. Yeah, in October, September already. Like,
Yep.
yeah.
Mr.
And
I live in LA.
yes, I know. And so yeah, if you go to like IMDb and Letterboxd, the year there is 2025, which kind of irritates me. But yeah,
Yeah,
no,
most of the time IMDb is a bunch of crap because it's like, when did a human eye first land on this movie?
yeah,
It's like, that's not when it really got released, but whatever.
no, no.
But
But no,
anyway,
that's yeah. For me, if it wasn't for the other movie I'm gonna mention, it would probably be Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die because that's a great movie. I had so much fun with that movie. But then yesterday I managed to catch because I had a half day off, so I managed to catch a movie in a cinema called Sirat. I know you're not as high on that movie, but
I still need to process that movie.
it's so yeah. Talk about processing because holy shit. Like no matter what you expect, I think this is a perfect kind of movie. Go into it as blindly as you can because no matter what you expect, it will take some wild turns. There is
Sure
a
does.
there is a something that happens halfway through. I'm not even gonna say what is it about. Well, no. Father and his son are looking for their daughter or for his daughter in North Africa, specifically
Yep.
Morocco. That's it. And there's a lot of rave music. It does it sound weird? Yes. Is it weird? Yes. Does it work? Kind of fucking works. And the moment I managed to tune into the movie's frequency, and I was like, oh, so this is gonna be one of those movies. Halfway through the movie, there's a decision made. And I'm like, no, they're not gonna do that. Oh my fucking god, they did that. Like, I watch so many movies, I rarely get shocked with decision that's made in a movie. That actually left me genuine. I was like,
I'm still processing that.
my mouth was open in the cinemas for a couple of seconds when that scene finished. I was like, they actually did that. And then there's a second sequence that's tense as fuck. I kind of seen coming because like how it's shot. I was like, oh, don't tell me this will happen, and it happened. So I was like, okay, I could kind of see that. But the first one, I was like, no, they're not gonna. Oh my fucking god, they did that. Holy shit.
Here's the thing, I own this because of
Oh
my
yeah, yeah.
Neon box set, so I will watch this again. And
And
I'm
mm,
interested to watch it again because wild.
I will say this: don't get in, for anybody who has not seen it, watch it, but understand this is not a narrative movie. This is more of like an Odyssey movie, maybe almost like purgatory movie. That many people, the characters in this movie go through this kind of purgatory, and the sound design. Now I understand why this movie is not only nominated for Best International Feature, but also
Yes.
for the sound.
Oh, it earned it
And
for
not
sure.
only earned it, but I will be low-key rooting for that because you will remember, especially the last 30 minutes, what happens on the screen in the last 30 minutes. There is this interesting sound choice that happens in between the tense moments. And I'm like, Jesus fuck, this is captivating, this is tense, this is working, and this is one of those movies that either will work for you or will not at all. And you're like, what the fuck did I just watch? Because even the end is like, oh, this is the end, yeah? Oh yeah, credits are rolling. This sure is the end. And it took me a while to process everything I saw. I don't think I fully processed it, but I managed to lock in on that movie's frequency. And because of that, I respect the fuck out of it. Like yeah, it's like I would strongly recommend that, but don't expect a narrative experience. This is a almost not an experimental movie, but as indie as it gets, and like opposed to narrative as it gets. But yeah,
I don't know if I'd recommend this generally to
hmm
people, but if you're a cinephile and you love film, this is a must watch.
hmm I think that's more sensible approach. But I'm not the sensible one on this podcast, so I'll recommend it to everybody because I want everybody to be traumatized.
Drama, the movie.
Yes, yes, this is how we bond. Okay, we watch something and we talk about it to make us feel better. But anyway, this is the end of our show. Next episode, we will talk all about the Oscars that will just have happened. So we will have all our thoughts about that ceremony, who won, who lost, and everything in between. So, as always, this podcast is part of SPDM Podcast Media. And Shane, when can people find you if they liked what you have to say?
You can always head over to the Wasteland Reviewer Instagram page where I shamelessly plug all of my things and have my link tree to all the stuff that I do, my YouTube channel where I review all types of movies and have weekly shows, my podcast here on SPDM, my writing at Sif Pop and Knuckle One Film, my own website, the Wasteland Reviewer blog. I got Substack, I got Letterbox, But you should also check out my film class if you're interested. For $10 a month, you can learn about the history of cinema and different genres and all different types of things about film over on School, Skool.
Mm-hmm. And thank, as I always say, thank fuck for that link tree because like all those links, like to be listing all those links in the description of that would be painful. No, but yeah, unlike Shane, I only do this podcast and Letterboxd. So in Movies Lost on Letterboxd or on this podcast every other Friday. And yeah, until next time, bye bye.
Why?